Welcome to Classy and Unfiltered, where we mix a little elegance with a whole lot of realness.
I'm your co-host Jaydah.
And I'm your co-host Shaughnessy.
And we're here to bring you unfiltered conversations about life, relationships, pop culture, and everything in between.
So grab a snack, get comfy, and let's dive into today's episode.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Classy and Unfiltered. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about healthy relationships and what they are and why they matter. That could be friendships, family, or even romantic relationships. Are you ready?
I am.
Yeah. Okay, so how would different relationships show up in different seasons of life to you?
I think that could be moving, getting a new job, new church, serving at church.
Yeah. So a question is why do we feel a need to keep others that aren't necessarily the best for us? Again, this could be romantic. I mean, I know you're married, but, even in past.
I think partly out of his side of dependency, just feeling like you need that person, you need that specific relationship.
Yeah.
Like, God forbid you didn't have this relationship,
Right.
or like love bombing's a very real thing. So someone makes you feel like all these feelings, and then they could be like a jerk to you, and you still feel like you need them, even though you know it's not good for
Yeah.
you. Like I know all about that. Like, that's hard, and you feel like you still want to be in that relationship because, oh, they love you so much. No, they don't.
Yeah.
Like, you just get comfortable with them, you like them, and like, that's it.
And I think that's hard because obviously, like, when I guess you could say in any relationship you could give your all, and like that it's like there's a piece of you still connected.
Yeah.
And it's, it could be really hard. Even in my past relationships, even with friendships, I feel like you're like there's something that like you just like feel the need to like, oh, because they're my so and so best friend, they need to be in my life. But that's not always true.
Or it's like, oh, this person knows all this stuff about
Right.
me, and like, I don't want them, like, oh, if we're not friends, like, I don't want them to share it. Like,
Yeah.
who cares? Like,
Yeah.
that just shows more on them, like, who they are.
Who they
But
are.
like, not wanting that information like leaked or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, with that, I just think like people think that you like even, oh, I've known them for this long.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything.
And like family, I think like, oh, they're my family, like, I'm gonna see them at this event or whatever. Like, yeah, but I don't think that means you need to be best friends with them, or
Right.
you don't need to be like,
and we're not saying like hate whatever, but
yeah,
I think there's certain people who God puts in your life, and if they're necessarily like you are the one feeling an attachment, and there's no need for the attachment, I feel like it's not worth stressing over.
Yeah.
And trying to hold on to it.
Honestly, I think especially if like that person isn't trying at all.
Yeah.
Like, if you really
Very
want
one-sided.
this relationship and whatever, like, if it's like the person has no care in the world for you, just like you can back off a little bit. Like, obviously there's a reason for that, and why would you want to keep pushing for a relationship when obviously the other person's not very interested?
Yeah. Big question. This kind of goes in the lines of it. How do we know that a relationship was just for that specific season of life?
I think when you get out of that season, I think if it's a relationship that was really like mentally draining, I think when you get out of that season, and it's someone you don't really, I don't want to say don't think about, but like it's someone that you just feel like at peace, knowing I'm not going to hear all the drama.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hear this person talk about this person. It feels good on the other side knowing that it's done, and like that's not connected to you. And honestly, I think the Holy Spirit just with certain situations just gives you so much peace in just knowing certain friendships are over and
Mm-hmm.
you've moved on and certain relationships are over. Like, it just is an overwhelming sense of peace from the Holy Spirit
Yeah.
if it's something I feel like that the Lord has for you
Mm-hmm.
and He wants you to move on from that.
Right. And even in my past, like with my past, with my ex, I just like people will tell you things, but you won't realize it until you're out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're kind of blindsided, and this could go for anything. It's just like how they're treating you, what they're like whatever it is, you won't, you're just like kind of blindsided and you won't really understand um like the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Um but like there's just like even you make certain relationships at work and um obviously pretty much at all of my jobs I've had really good friends and like we get really close and we'll hang out, and then like the moment that one of us like quits we'll like keep in touch, but then it just,
It
you
fades to
know,
nothing.
yeah, it
Yeah.
just, it was literally specifically for that moment that I was working there. And that, I mean, yeah, it's sad, but like then you realize like, oh, I really didn't need them because
Yeah.
now I have, which that kind of sounds terrible that you're like replacing
Yeah.
somebody, but
But I think, I mean, I really do think that people are in your life at a certain time for a certain
right.
reason. And I I don't know, like I do believe that like there's certain friends that you have that will be your friend
Mhm.
for the long haul.
Mhm.
But like I also think that like a job is like a really good example. Like they're your friends then, like not saying obviously if you quit your job now, like you wouldn't have the friends you
Right.
had there, but like sometimes like they're there for you then and like you move on. Like
Yeah.
I can't say any of the jobs I work at, like I don't talk to any of them. Like and it's not like any of like it's not like all the relationships ended on like a bad note.
Mhm.
It just we move on. We grow. People get married and move away. People
Yeah.
have kids. Their
It's
schedules
life.
change. Like it's yeah, it's just
Yeah.
a part of life.
And I think when you're looking at it this way, God uses people as a lesson. And like at a certain job I kind of, I think God used me as the light to them.
Mhm.
Um
That's good.
yeah, to like just share kind of my relationship with the Lord, and then the moment it was just like very short-lived.
Mhm.
And I think that it was a specific time, like I was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and you like God definitely could have used you and like
Mhm.
just to speak into their life.
Yeah. Okay. So, um how do you think we can maintain a healthy relationship and break bad habits? Like any red flags or anything like negative that could be affecting a relationship?
I think really inviting the Lord into it
Mhm.
and just like if you seek after him, like he'll speak to you
Yeah.
and just listen. Like just listen like Lord, how can this relationship honor you?
Mhm.
How can what I say to this person honor you? And I think if it's a relationship like ordained by the Lord, a relationship where you invite the Lord into
Mhm.
it, he'll sustain it
Mhm.
and he'll use you in that relationship. And I think that really like big I think that's a really big part of it.
Right. And I think there's been so many times with family, romance, like every relationship you could think of, and I like if I felt this certain like any negative, or if I just like started like feeling like one of us had this like, I don't know, like bad habit with like drama or anything like that, I've literally prayed like if this person is not who you want to be in my life, just like take them out.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz it's not worth it. And obviously again, you're going to be attached, but I just think it's better to kind of break it before it gets worse.
Yeah.
Um and again, yeah, I don't know how much to go into that, but
Yeah.
yeah. So, what what are moments that we've realized that we've needed to grow from, like, if we're looking back at past relationships and you realized how much you grew
I'm gonna
from
need
them.
you to take the lead on
Got
this
it.
one.
I
I'll
know.
think.
It's a bit hard. Okay. Um, let me see. So I don't want to say everybody is necessarily toxic, but I think everybody has, like, everybody can grow. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
has something that they can learn from. Everybody has something they might struggle with. And I think it's like, that's another thing that you honestly just need to pray about. Um, but try to realize, like, I can't really think of, like, anything specifically, but, like, there's just certain things that, like, I realized, like, I needed to, like, pray about it and kind of, like, realize how I was being, and just take accountability.
Yeah.
Kind of in the same lines of this, I'm going to ask you, how do you think that you grew from in the beginning of, because you were 15 when you guys started dating and now you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be 22, married? So how do you think that, like, even your, like, how you thought about things, how do you think you grew from that?
So I know. So 15-year-old Shaughnessy was very hurt.
Mhm.
I was very hurt from previous
Mhm.
relationships, and I say relationships more so in air quotes, but just talking to guys who one was verbally abusive, like
Mhm.
are immature and just say stupid things
Yeah.
and would quote unquote we were quote unquote together and then would cheat on me and
Mhm.
like I was so insecure
Mhm.
walking into a relationship with your brother and hurting. Like I was hurt and I was scared and I didn't want to lose Lionel, but I also had like this thought in my head like what if he's like them?
Yeah.
And what if he's gonna hurt me? And what if he's whatever? So I had my guard up.
Mhm.
Like I had a wall from my toes to the top of my head. Like I was a walking friggin' wall.
Yeah.
Um, Communication was not really a thing. One little thing would set me off.
Mhm.
And I just remember like I just wasn't fun.
Mhm.
Like I also was on anxiety medicine for the first 3 years of us dating. And I know that kind of, my doctor prescribed me too much. So I was on too much anxiety
Yeah.
medicine and I was like a little zombie.
Mhm.
Like, that's how everyone described me. Like, I just wasn't fun. I was very foggy. Like, I wasn't my normal
Mhm.
self. And then I think getting off the anxiety medicine really was like a big turnaround
Yeah.
in my personality and how I thought and how I communicated. But then also just growing in wisdom.
Mhm.
My parents literally could be like relationship
Mhm.
therapists. And when I finally listened to my parents and stopped being like, they're my parent, like, no, my parents have a lot of wisdom in
Right.
this. And talking to them, like, if I was frustrated about something, like, talking to them
Mhm.
and getting like wisdom, like, how would you handle this situation?
Mhm.
And I'm not saying, and even from Lionel and I dating from teenagers to now, like, don't go and tell people every little thing that you're struggling with and
Yeah.
every little fight you have. Like, don't do that, especially the big stuff. Like, you don't just go tell people
Mhm.
what people that. And I don't think I've ever told anyone about any of the big stuff
Mhm.
Lionel and I have dealt with and whatever, but like just like little things. Like I'm really struggling with communication.
Mhm.
Like, what do I do? Or I feel like Lionel's struggling to communicate with me. Like, how do we like work through this? And like just listening to other people
Yeah.
and just kind of getting wisdom that way
Mhm.
and knowing that you're not always right.
Right.
Like that was hard for me. Like that was really like I thought I was always right.
Mhm.
And it was just this whole persona I put on to not get hurt again. Mm-hmm. And like, I really think that letting people in, not letting just anyone in, not letting your friend who you went to high school with who has had 20 relationships in the past year, like, not like that. Mm-hmm. Letting someone who has wisdom in this area or in any area, like if we're talking about relationships, like that, like, ask them for some wisdom, like, spend time with them, like, the people you spent time with are who you're gonna be. So I was in high school when we started dating, like, was I hanging around the best people? No. Was I the best person? No. Have I kind of guarded my heart? Guarded, honestly, even just like the music you listen to and the movies you watch and the shows you watch, like, that affects who you are. Right. And I feel like I really, especially the past like 2 years, have just done like a 180. And like, I'm telling you, getting off the anxiety medicine was a big thing. Just wisdom, guarding your heart, inviting the Lord into it. And I think those were like the big, like, 4 things that really have shifted our relationship and shifted me to shift our relationship. And yeah.
I think that's okay, so this is such a common, like, Christian answer, but literally pray over everything. And I think when I first got into my first ever relationship, I was also 15. So obviously, like, you do a lot of growing up as you grow up.
You're stupid at 15.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and with what you said about like, don't let everybody in, I was telling everybody all of my, like, arguments, everything that bothered me, and, like, you just don't do that. Like, there's just, like, I don't know. I just would say going into after that and then going into the relationship I'm now, I think I've just prayed about every little thing and kind of let that kind of do its job. Like, I just don't, you can't be in control of everything, and you can't be in control of every relationship and how people are, that you can't change that. Right. But yeah, I think.
And I think also, like, that's a big thing. Like, you can't change who someone is. Yeah. Like, you're not going to love every little thing about anyone you have a relationship with. Yeah. But if you go into it thinking, oh, if I spend enough time with them, they'll change. Like, no. Yeah. No.
That's not how that works.
And if you have that mindset, you're the person who needs to work on your issue and whatever your deal is, because that's not a thing. Like, obviously, you become a little bit like who you spent. You do become like who you spend your most time with. Yeah. But if you walk into a relationship thinking, any relationship, this needs to change, I'm going to change them. But, like, you need to look back at yourself. Right. Because your relationship isn't going to thrive when all you can think about is the things that need to change.
Right. And I think, like, again, I'm not saying don't talk to anybody, but, like, just be cordial and be careful who you hang around, because, like, she said, like, who you hang around, what you listen to, what you watch, it all, like, it kind of becomes, that's what you become. Yeah. And it just rubs off on you. And I think you just need to be able to surround yourself with godly people. And even I have coworkers that don't even believe in God, but, like, so I don't necessarily keep them at a distance, but I know where our differences are. But that doesn't change how I feel about them. Like, I love everybody I work with, but they're not my number one people, because, you know, I don't want how they can change who I am. Yeah. So I think that's just, like, don't let anybody in, and don't let them change you. So I think that's just, like, the number one thing. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it for this episode.
If you have any ideas for any more topics, feel free to DM us. Put them in the comments below if you're on YouTube, or go hop over to our Instagram or our TikTok and put them in the comments.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening.